This special holiday episode of Yesterworld is sponsored by Privacy.com, and as a special offer to my viewers, they're offering $5 in free credit to use this holiday season to spend on whatever or wherever you want. So check out the link in the description and go to Privacy.com/Yesterworld to sign up today. There are few things more magical than the Christmas season at Disneyland, from the decorations to the parades and, of course, the Jingle cruise. But just like the holidays come and go each year, so have many of Disneyland's Christmas overlays, events, and seasonal traditions. So let's explore 7 abandoned elements of Disneyland's holiday past. Even as far back as the first year of the park's operation, decorations were a major element of the holiday season, including real Christmas trees. Though Town Square's was the primary tree, you could find another 2 over at Sleeping Beauty's castle on either side of the drawbridge. During most years, they appeared to be covered in snow, and at night, the Christmas tree's lights somehow made the castle even that much more magical. This tradition continued for over 50 years, however in 2007, the castle's tree was abandoned in favor of decorating the castle itself. The change remains to this day, and now features an incredible light show during the holidays. Now, I've stressed the word real Christmas tree because up until then, the park featured real Christmas trees, but 2008 saw these replaced with the first artificial tree as part of an eco-friendly movement that continues today. But let's hop on over to the Land of Tomorrow, where you could find another holiday overlay at Monsanto's House of the Future. Here, you could find the outside decorated with Christmas trees, along with presents underneath. Eventually, the home itself took part in the festivities, with a giant ribbon and a bow on top. However, it seems in the years leading up to the attraction's closure, this was abandoned. But wait, what's that in the background? Could it be another Christmas tree? No, silly, it isn't a tree, but a star that you would put on top of I'm speaking in rhyme! As early as 1961's holiday season, a massive star was placed on top of Matterhorn Mountain, and this continued for many years. The star was 24 feet wide and moved in place using a crane, and sometimes you could even see Santa lending a hand in its installation. And despite the belief in later years that this was a non-moving decoration, it actually spun continuously day and night. What made this even cooler was the fact that you could see it from almost every area of the park, but it's at night when the star really shined, but sadly photos are pretty hard to come by. However, with the gas crisis of the 1970s, the star was decommissioned shortly after the 1968 holiday season, and though it's yet to return, many hope one day for a Christmas miracle. When Disneyland first opened in 1955, though visitors could enter the Firehouse, City Hall, and the various shops and eateries, there was one building that they couldn't: the Main Street Opera House. The Opera House was one of the larger structures on Main Street, but in reality it was little more than a lumber mill with a facade front. But that would change with Walt Disney's 1961 Christmas musical, Babes in Toyland. Though reactions to the movie were mixed, even the harshest critics praised its imaginative sets and innovative filmmaking techniques. So instead of letting these go to waste, Walt Disney had the lumber mill cleared and moved a few of the sets to the Opera House to become the Babes in Toyland Village exhibit.
The cleanup crews have just started taking down all of the sets, but there's still plenty left to see, so let's go in.
Visuals of this attraction are few and far between, but it was popular enough to justify keeping it until 1963, when it then became the headquarters for the Mickey Mouse Club. Though based on some visual evidence, it seems that a few of the set pieces from Babes in Toyland remained. The next year saw the opening of Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln at the New York World's Fair, and when it was decided to bring it to Disneyland, the Opera House seemed like the perfect fit, where it remains to this day. So as strange as it seems, if you're a fan of Honest Abe's attraction, you have Babes in Toyland to partially thank for it.
Introducing Disney's California Adventure, a whole new theme park filled with Disney adventures and fun, right next door to Disneyland.
Oh, 2001 California Adventure, you gave us so many great things. Superstar Limo, Whoopi Goldberg, the rock structure I always thought was a wolf until I realized it was actually a grizzly bear. It also gave us a Christmas show that only performed for one season and never returned. The Christmas overlay began at the entrance and was spread all around the park, from a Christmas Mickey hat on the water tower to Kermit the Frog, to Mr. and Mrs. Claus-inspired scarecrows. But the highlight of California Adventure's short-lived Christmas existence was Disney's LuminAria.
This is the season of light.
LuminAria was similar to Epcot's Illuminations as a combination water fountain and fireworks show, only synchronized to Christmas music. The show lasted just under 10 minutes, and during the grand finale, a giant Christmas tree rose from the water. And though it was far less popular than Disney hoped it would be, it did feature one really cool aspect of the show. During the day, young visitors could draw Christmas cards at an activity center that cast members would scan electronically. On the water, these Christmas presents/projectors would rise during the show and feature all of the Christmas cards that had been created. However, due to its lack of popularity, LuminAria only ran from November 2001 to January of 2002, but it would sort of be reincarnated over a decade later as World of Color's Winter Dreams.
May all your winter dreams come true! Happy holidays, everyone!
Bear Country, a 4-acre backwoods settlement inhabited by the comical stars of Country Bear Jamboree.
With the success of Magic Kingdom's Country Bear Jamboree, an opening day attraction at Disneyworld, a version was created for Disneyland, which opened the following year. A little over 10 years later, the attraction's popularity was enough to convince Disney to put together a holiday version of the show.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yup, soon the bells will start.
The Jingle Bell Jamboree was the first holiday overlay for an attraction at the Disney parks, and it was actually pretty extensive, including new costumes, props for all the performers, new dialogue, and songs based on Christmas classics.
Giddy up, let's go. Let's look at the show.
However, the Country Bears over at Disneyland would see their last Christmas in the year 2000, as the following year, the attraction closed to make way for Winnie the Pooh. Magic Kingdom's overlay followed in 2005, supposedly due to a decline in popularity, and Disney executives couldn't justify the costs of the yearly transformation. But how cool would it be if Disney put Santa hats on the mounted characters that remain in Winnie the Pooh as Easter eggs? It cost them barely anything. I know. The origins of the Disneyland Christmas Bowl... Sorry, not that kind of Christmas bowl. The origins of the Disneyland Christmas Bowl... Santa Dan, have you been messing with my video?
The bowls. Okay, I'll stop.
The origins of Disneyland's Christmas Bowl began as a gazebo for the Disneyland band in Main Street's Town Square. However, prior to the park's opening, it was moved to near the castle to avoid blocking the view down Main Street. A year after the park opened, it was moved yet again in favor of the construction of the much larger Carnation Plaza Gardens. The smaller venue's new home would be Magnolia Park, right next to the Jungle Cruise and the Frontierland Railroad Station. And believe it or not, right behind this area, literally on the other side of a barrier, used to be a baseball field.
Now it's time to say goodbye.
Anyway, the bandstand at Magnolia Park was given a new name that December as part of a seasonal event known as the Christmas Bowl. During the holiday season, carolers, choirs, dancers, and the Disneyland band gathered here and performed for visitors. The next year saw even more performers in the Christmas Bowl, and the next year after that was even larger, but the bandstand wasn't quite big enough to hold everyone. So the main event was held at the Plaza Gardens instead, which is kind of ironic since the venue replaced the original bandstand in the first place. The next year saw what had begun as the Christmas Bowl evolve into Disney's first Christmas Eve candlelight procession, and continued to grow larger and more elaborate over the years.
The Living Christmas Tree is formed by the Western High School a cappella choir.
The gazebo was still used during the holidays, but for smaller occasions. However, in 1962, the bathing pool expansion for the Jungle Cruise, along with the building of the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, met the end for Magnolia Park and the original bandstand. So it was donated to the city of Anaheim and now resides at Rogers Gardens at Corona del Mar, California, where you can still visit it today. This one's interesting because I remembered one year as a kid seeing a Star Tours Christmas overlay, but when I tried looking up images and information on this, I came up with nothing. I admitted defeat and figured it was just the Mandela effect or something, and planned on just covering Big Thunder Mountain Ranch's Jingle Jangle Jamboree instead. Though it only closed in 2016 to make way for Galaxy's Edge, it was quite the festive event with games, cookie decorating, and special holiday-themed food options and activities. But then I had the idea to just try looking up Star Tours December videos year after year, and finally I came across this. As it turns out, Star Tours did in fact have a Christmas overlay during at least 1996 and 1997, and since December of 1996 was the attraction's 10-year anniversary of the soft opening, it makes perfect sense for them to have done something special. So if you'll excuse me, I'm now off to start a petition to bring these back for the 40-year anniversary of Star Tours in 2026. Ever since the beginning, there's been no shortage of Christmas parades at Disneyland, and they continue to evolve over the years. But one aspect only lasted a single holiday season during the park's first year of operation.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
Now, the rise and fall of the Mickey Mouse Club Circus and all of its problems deserves its own episode, but for our story here, it was the location of the grand finale of the first Christmas parade at Disneyland. But the Christmas aspect really only applied to its finale, as it was primarily circus-themed to announce the arrival of the Mickey Mouse Club Circus. As would continue in later versions of the parade, Walt Disney himself and Fess Parker from Davy Crockett led the event along with Santa and his sleigh. Beginning from Main Street's Town Square, the parade traveled all the way to the Mickey Mouse Club Circus. Once inside the tent, a giant 40-foot-tall, white fabric Christmas tree rose from the ground to the top of the tent in just under 10 seconds. While this was certainly a highlight of the parade, with all the problems of the Mickey Mouse Club Circus, it was removed after just one season. Without the circus tent, while the parade itself would continue over the years, the impressive rising tree would never return. This makes it one of the more rare events of not just Disneyland's Christmas history, but Disneyland as a whole. But what's not so rare is me signing up for a free or discounted trial period and forgetting to cancel before I get charged. It's happened more times than I'd like to admit, but with Privacy.com, now I don't have to worry about that ever again. You see, with Privacy.com, you can make burner cards set as one-time use only. Once a trial period is up, in my case the Xbox Game Pass, so I can finally try Sea of Thieves, I don't have to worry about being charged if I forget to cancel. But Privacy.com is more than just a way to make burner cards, as you can set up other cards with your choice of a spending limit, each with their own uniquely generated numbers. Let's say you're worried about Netflix sneakily raising their monthly fee on you, just set up a card specifically for Netflix with a monthly spending limit. And if you're at all concerned that the holiday seasons leave you the most open to identity theft more than any other time of the year, you can set up multiple cards and relax knowing that your information is protected using military-grade technology. Oh, it's also really easy to use and even has an app for your mobile device and an extension for your internet browser. And as a special offer to my viewers for this holiday season, when you sign up you'll get $5 of free credit to spend on whatever and wherever you want. So check out the link in the description and go to privacy.com/yesterworld to sign up today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in Yesterworld.